Hi there, can you tell what we're going to make today? It's going to be masks, so let me just get this off. So it's a very, very simple mask, just purely for kind of covering yourself up, no kind of protection or anything like that, but quite a handy thing to have at the moment. So I just wanted to show you, it's all through the pattern that's available on Craft Passion. I've just decided to make a kind of shorter version that'll hopefully mean that you can make them really quickly at home. First top tip is if you don't have a printer at home, they've got this kind of grid picture on their website, and then all you have to do on a piece of paper is draw a 6-inch square, divide it up into half-inch squares, and then you would just copy the parts that you would need for the pattern that you want. So just a top tip there, but maybe you're lucky enough to have a printer, as I do, because then you can just print them straight off, and they've got kids and adults. I went for the ladies, like medium size, I suppose, but actually it was a little bit small for me, the first one that I made, so I've actually slightly adjusted the pattern. So I would recommend that the first one you make, you just grab some old, not so good fabric, just in case. It'll probably go right then, but I was a bit gutted to waste material. So what you can do when you do print it out is at the bottom there's a little guide for 2 inches. So I did instantly discover that my printer was a little bit, it's printed it out a little bit smaller than what they suggest. So I did cut outside the lines. I enlarged what I had so that it wasn't too small. So there's 2 pieces that are lining, and there's 2 pieces that are the main fabric. That's what you need. And here you'll see the good sides are facing in. All right, so there and the outsides. It doesn't really matter which way around you do it actually, but you'll figure that out as you go, just as long as they're facing in or out. Okay, so there's my pattern. Just keep the table nice and tidy. So you're going to first sew the curved edge, okay, along here. So just a regular, like size 2 stitch, and you're just going to do it all the way along the edge. So you can choose different fabrics for the main. I'm using just kind of cotton. This is probably a poly cotton. And again, like I said, they're not there really for big safety reasons. It's more, I find they're pretty good at reminding you to not touch your face, which is obviously a big part of the problem at the moment. And also I've gone for these really stylish fabrics so that they match my outfits. Let's just do the next one. Just a regular seam allowance. I use the width of the foot. But again, I would recommend you make one once with some scraps of fabric, just so you're not disappointed if it doesn't fit you perfectly, and you can make some adjustments then. They don't take long. So to make sure it bends nicely, what you can do is you can just pop a few little cuts along that surface, and that will help it bend over your nose. And then we're going to top stitch the other side. So we need to open him up. We need to push him out. Make sure he's really nice, a good quality push, that there isn't a bit like that dimpling inside. And then we're just going to sew down one side. There should be one side that it kind of falls towards. Just go with it for that one. The top stitch is just a very just a simple stitch that's just going to go close to the line that you've already sewn. And what I do is I like pull the fabric a little bit to the right and the left to make sure that it's not dimpled up. It's also quite good to check, which actually it's already not, is all of those little slices that we just made are all facing the same way. One of them had snuck over to the other side. So this is probably the fiddliest bit. That's one done. Now, because you don't want, this is my front, okay, and this is my lining, I don't want all the bulk of all the bits on the inside to be all on the same side, so I'm actually going to prepare which side I do this. So match your patterns up, that's my front, that's my back. And this one, therefore, I want it to go over to the right. Does that make sense? So these are pushing this way, those are pushing that way, and then I haven't got all those layers of fabric on top of each other. I've forgotten what I said now. There, that way. Oh, and do it on the good side, not on the ugly side, because it's quite hard. It's quite nice if it looks nice as well. So you've got more control if you're looking on the good side. Again, pulling them apart. Okay, that's that. So there's two top sides. Then we want to put the good sides together because ultimately we turn it inside out. So the two top round pieces, the noses, and you do need to line up those first row of stitches and make sure they touch each other and start pinning it. I'm just going to use a few pins. And again, different fabrics. I'm noticing actually this grey one is possibly a little bit thin. It's just not, I don't know, it doesn't feel as good as I would like it to. But anyway, this is a bit of a trial for now. Just check the line up. Yep. Alright, so that's there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all the way down from here to there, and then from here all the way down to there, leaving those openings for now. And then obviously on this top one, you've got to try and follow that curve best you can. I've got pins on the wrong side. It would be better to have put the pins on the lining side. Just a little top tip for you for when you do yours. And there's all sorts on the Craft Passion website. There's loads of extra things. So there's ones where you can insert filters, and there's ones where you can insert wires. So I'm literally just showing you here the simplest one that I saw to get you started. Maybe it'd be quite useful to have a few of these for the family. So at this point, you probably should iron. I don't even own an iron, so that's not going to happen here. But you could make sure that it was as good as it could be. It's a little bit more sewing. So they would be quite hard, actually, to make by hand. I guess we've got time at the moment. I quite like as well that these are really reversible. So it is kind of worth choosing a nice fabric. And then, for both sides, and then we're going to do a top stitch all the way along the edge. So quite close to the edge, starting right from the beginning and going all the way to the end. And again, I'm probably going to do that on the lining side because then I can just double check that that top piece does fold over where I need it to. And just be careful that you're getting right where the fold is. Interesting to know how long this takes actually. Stuck. One side. Oh. Tension there. And then the next one. Fast there. So straight, it's not that it really matters. And then your final piece is that you just need to fold this over once and twice, and then when you sew it, you're going to be sewing close to the fold edge here, because inside there needs to go either some string or some elastic. So again, I'd recommend that you did a little bit of pinning here. And again, if you had an iron, this would definitely be a good time to iron. Maybe have a little clear up as well. So folding once, about, it's kind of less than a centimetre, and then folding twice, and it must obviously go over where the lining meets the top fabric. So I'd say that would be about right. Thought something went wrong. 2 moments, 2 seconds. Hopefully the bottom thread's okay. Persevere. Once, fold. I'm going to take these extra threads off. I often do this where I am lazy and I think I'll take them all off at the end. But if they get a tangle, then they cause you double trouble later. So it is worth removing them as you go, to be honest. So, blunt pin. There we go. Okay, so both sides now, well basically the whole thing is now assembled, and you can just play around with him, so he's not a bad fit, I don't think. And then, if you have got elastic, that's probably the easiest thing to use. If you haven't, maybe you've got some string. I've actually run out of elastic, but they do sell it at the end of aisles in supermarkets, so maybe you'll be able to pick some up on your weekly shop. And then I'm just going to use a hair grip, but you could also use a darning needle or a safety pin, and you're just going to insert that there, slide him all the way up to the top, pull him through, and there you go. You can gather him up a little bit, makes a little bit of a better fit, and you can attach him, and you've got your mask. Hopefully that's helpful to you, and yeah, make them lots of colours and you'll have some to match every outfit. Alright, see you soon, bye!